Jim Gannon. Oh, great flick on Alan Armstrong.
It's against Bradford, but here's Warburton!
Yes!
Oh! And then trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, it's there!
Not got it clear. Please, it's a cracker!
Running Armstrong, played in again, and a superb goal!
Tony Diddy! Stockport County are the champions of League Two.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Scarf Bagar War with me, Russ Johnson. It's a bit of a Mentell special. I'm delighted to be joined by friend of the podcast, former goalkeeping coach, colleague, Damon Carroll. How are you, mate? You okay?
Pleased to meet you. How you doing? How's it going?
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, it's going all right, mate.
Tell you what, that last clip you showed on the intro really hurts me because last season I went to the majority of the away games and I missed out on, like the Notts County, the Suttons, and it upsets me a bit because I weren't there, like to see them lift a trophy against Accrington and stuff like that. Yeah, it's upsetting me, really, that. But I did get my hands on the trophy, when it came up here to Derbyshire, to New Mills. So, yeah,
nice.
Took the sting out of it.
No, it's funny though, isn't it? Because I know you've been supporting County a long time, and we'll get into that in a second. But it's funny because these days don't come around often, do they? We know that as County fans, whereas the younger County fans might be thinking, "Oh, this happens all the time." It doesn't.
Yeah, it's very few and far between. But as County fans now, let's talk about the modern era that we're in. We're living in unprecedented times. The future's exciting. I mean, I was speaking to another fellow County fan. Can you imagine when we start producing our own players and our first homegrown player that come out through the academy goes for like 10, 20 million? I'm going to be like that scene, Del Boy, where he collapses when he finds out about how much the antique watch is going for. It's, it's unprecedented times for us, isn't it? It's scary. It's scary to what the future holds for us. I think this is just the start of it. When I was speaking to Simon Wilson on the away game last season, I can't remember which one it was, either Crawley or Gillingham. And basically, I can see our model being on Brighton and Hove Albion, like the way we're going to produce players, the way the management structure is and things like that. And it's scary. It's scary to what the potential could possibly be. But it's exciting as well, isn't it? Like the football we're playing. Because it's quality.
It really is. What did he say? Did he say, yes, we are doing it on Brentford and Brighton, or did he say, it's our own, completely our own model?
He didn't give much away, but you could see the smirk on his face as he said it, so to speak. But yeah, he's a cracking guy. He's brilliant. Dead salt of the earth and everything like that. And you know what, the work, we've been in coaching ourselves and we know the work that's done on the pitch, but the work done behind the scenes as well needs a lot of applauding for, so to speak, getting the contracts sorted out. So it's leaving the coaches to coach and manage on the pitch, so to speak, if that makes any sense to what I'm saying. So yeah, it's exciting times. And you know what, I'm just going to focus a bit on the season as well. The position that we're in, near the top. There's no reason why we can't go on and knock on from last season and get promoted. And Louis Barry said it in an interview, he's not come here just to sort of just score goals. He wants the bigger picture. He wants promotion. I think he said, I'm sure he said that in one of his interview when he said we signed for us on loan. So it just sets the standards on it for the rest of the team. And Ollie Norwood as well, saying that he wants to help the younger players along. It just proves the infrastructure's right within the club.
Yeah,
it really does.
And then add to that Powell with his this is just the start interview at the end of the League Two Championship game as well. So yeah, it's all pointing in the right direction, isn't it? In terms of getting back to the Championship, but it feels different, doesn't it, this time? Because I feel like we're going to get to it's more of a if it's more of a when than if when we get back to the Championship. But last time we were in the Championship, it was because we had a good nucleus of players. We didn't really have the infrastructure around us. It was the players and the manager that did it. Whereas now I feel like we're definitely better set up to be in the Championship and stay there. Would you agree?
Totally agree with you. I mean, like we said, the infrastructure's right. I mean, like, again, looking at the bigger picture, there'll become a point where Mark Stock won't be pumping his money in it just as much, and we will be self-sufficient through commercialisation and etc. And I think yourself mentioned this now. We're a brand rather than a football club, So again, it's like you said, it's going to be self-sufficient to where we are producing money, and we're not reliant on, like on a chairman's money being pumped in. He might want to pump it in every so often, but to be debt free and not having any loans against us, etc. It's just it's scary, and the ground as well. When it increases its attendance, it just looks. It's just putting me appetite even more. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the fruitations. I can't wait to see the fruitations. But yeah, it's amazing. It really is amazing. But again, I don't want to miss out on this season. Seeing us, I'm probably going to put a curse on it else. Lift us another trophy, things like that. But yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, exciting. Like Simon Wilson says, let's just enjoy the ride. Onto the Mentell side of things then, because I've spoke to Dave Thompson about this. We've had Matt on, and we've also had Andy on as well, from who they sort of Mentell ambassadors. And Mentell is our charity partner for this calendar year. So I wanted to do a few episodes, and that's why we're here. Really, is to talk about the Mentell side. How did you get involved in Mentell, and how did that all come about from your perspective?
Well, it's funny you should say that, considering it's World Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and it's World Suicide Prevention Month Day today. The way I came about Mentell was through my own crisis. Now, I can't remember whether I was with Stockport County ladies with yourself before. I mean, mine's got a bit foggy over this. It was just after. I think it was just after. So it was still in COVID at the time, etc. And then I had that. I had issues with my knees and everything like that. Come to terms with like diabetes. I weren't looking after that again really well at the time. And it's sad to say that I attempted to take my own life. So again, I was referred to Chesterfield Royal Hospital, to where I got the right help and support there. And I was signposted to Mentell through one of the nurses there. She said her husband was in the army. Again, he's been suffering, like mental health issues, and check him out. So when I finally got discharged, checked him out, sent an email, got a phone call off one of the team there. Jump on the Zoom meetings, like that, and feel free to drop in and drop out. And that's the way I was introduced to Mentell. And it's such a brilliant organisation. It's sort of a champion all the time. I'll mention them in Facebook groups and things like that. I mention it to friends. With obviously Dave's probably spoke about it, another Andy has it. The way it is, it's like a circle where you can drop in and drop out and explain about your issues. Like obviously there's certain criteria that you have to meet where you're not allowed to talk about medication or anything political. Like you're talking about basically, how can I put it? It's like a bottle of Coke. You're just releasing that bit of gas that you may be suffering from, or you're suffering with, so to speak. You're not there to give medical advice to other people, because we're not doctors or anything like that. You're there just to sort of like, listen, this has happened, etc., etc. And it's one of the best organisations they ever got in touch with. I mean, I've got a condition called EUPD, which is emotional unstable personality disorder, which probably explains what the kind of character I am. And some things affect me more than, say, the average normal bloke that we sit with at football, or go to drinking the boozer with, or go to work with. I deal with things in a different way. My mindset's completely different. And yes, I'm on medication, like for my condition, but it's no shame in saying that, you know. And yeah, I do have my up days, I do have my down days, but it's when you can't act on the impulse. Does that make any sense to you?
Mm.
You know, like on your dark days, and Mentell's been masterfully behind that, sort of like living in the moment, so to speak. So yeah, it's a fantastic organisation, and anyone out there that is struggling, male wise, please just check him out. You know, like you've got the links on there, Russ. You know, like I'm sure you can check him out. I mean, there's also another organisation that I'm passionate about as well, which helps young people. I'm sure you've heard of it. Is it Papuas or something like that? Is it Papuas? How you pronounce them? You know, again, that supports young people. Again, you know, like there's loads of grassroots charities out there that support men's mental health. But I've got to a stage now, Russ, where I'm not just supporting men's mental health; it's women's mental health as well. That I'm seeing that, you know, like that they need help as well. You know, like, and that's from my job that I got involved with. You know, like helping people with complex needs. But yeah, mental health, fantastic, fantastic. Credit to Joe Maller and the crew down there, and Dave. You know, like for really championing it and getting it out there. It's just good to see the way it exploded.
So cheers for sharing that with us, Damon. I mean, obviously we've known known each other quite a long time, really. And I kind of knew you before we knew each other, if that makes sense, because I've seen your mankinis and all your antics on on the terraces and what have you. And I think a lot of people do know you and see you as like really outgoing and bubbly. But obviously you've just shared that information with us, which is. I mean, I'd call it really brave, to be honest. I mean, it's not the kind of thing I'd do. And obviously, would you agree it takes a lot of courage and a lot of bravery, really, to take that first step to walk into a Mentell circle? And what advice would you give to somebody who's maybe thinking of it and not having done it yet?
You know what? Thank you for that. But you know, like I do struggle to take praise. You know, like as you well know, me. You know, it was I found it much easier accepting it on Zoom rather than going to a circle meeting, which I've been to down at County. Yeah, I ran really professionally, but if it's someone else that has wanted to go, just go log on to the website, see how it is, read other people's stories and how it's out to other people, like your Dave Thompsons and Joe Blogs, etc. Don't be ashamed of asking for that help. You can't be, you know, like, and this is the unique thing about Mentell. They send the invitation out on the Sunday because most men or most attempts on people taking their own life is on a Sunday night. So it's obviously giving you that like fishing rod for the day after, so to speak. So you've got something there to look forward to go down and meet other people. It's not just that as well, you know, like you could be isolated, so to speak, and that could be a big cause behind mental health, you know, like and the way you're feeling, depressed, etc., etc. And seeing those other people the day after, that's a good self-esteem type of thing. It's yeah. So anyone that is out there that feels like they're struggling, please check them out and talk to someone. You know, like even if it's at County in the Cheadle End pop side or wherever you sit, just give them a nudge. You know, like you never know. You might know someone that, you know, like a grassroots charity where they could support people. Or if you're in a pub and you are feeling a bit low, talk to people. We need to get out there. We need to not be ashamed of what challenges face us, and there could be an whole list of reasons behind it, Russ. You know, like why they are suffering and why they are feeling down, so to speak. But I've got those little goals now where I'm action planning and I'm doing things steadily, so to speak. So there's things there that are potentially stop me from self-harming. Like I said, yes, I do have my bad days, you know, things like that, but it's knowing that I've got that blanket around me that I can relate to people, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, no, it does. And I suppose county is that one thing that we can all relate to, isn't it? So, you know, from a county fan base perspective, if you are, I guess if you are struggling, then there are people out there in the county fan base that you can relate to because you go county and we're all county fans, that you can just go and nudge and say, look, how can I get into Mentell? I know the website's there. That might be a barrier. Going in person might be a barrier. Jumping on Zoom might be a barrier because you're not technically astute. You don't really know how it works technically.
Yeah.
So the other option is speak to somebody. Speak to somebody at county. There is Dave there. There's Matt. There's Andy. There's yourself. There's us on the podcast as well. We know we're more than happy to point people in the right direction and more than happy to have a chat as well. Yeah, cheers for that, mate. Cheers. Thanks for opening up. Again, this is a podcast, so it's not that easy. Okay, on to county then. How does that relate to in county then? Because obviously you've got to know people. I mean, you've been at county longer than me, I would suspect. You've got to know loads of people in the fan base. How did it work? Did you get to know Dave and Andy and Matt, and there's probably others as well, through county first, or was it through Mentell first, or was it a mixture of the two?
Well, it's through Mentell first. Well, it was obviously I met Joe and everything like that, and I said, listen, I want to promote Mentell more in Stockport. So I've gone down to county, but I can't remember what for because it's that long ago. And I've seen a box in the background in the ticket office with Mentell stuff on. I said, oh, I'm passionate about them. Now, I think it might have been county beforehand, and I'm not seeing these posters being put around. And somehow, I think I made Joe and Steve Bellis. I'm sure I did a public talk, a public speech in Hazel Grove, and that's the way Joe and Steve Bellis met, and how they got Mentell involved in county. I'm sure it's something like that. Don't quote me because it was happened a long time ago. Forget the sort of like pattern of events, but since then it's exploded, so to speak. So, as you know, like I think it was a couple of years ago, I did a bucket collection for Mentell as well. There again, we put little. I think it was against Yeovil Town. It might have been. It was against Yeovil Town. I remember because one of their players took their own life, if we remember. Or one of the former players. So it was round about that time. So again, we was putting little business cards up in the toilets and everything like that, handing them out. So we lit the fire, so to speak, to spread the word about what work Mentell was doing in the community. And it's just exploded from there, from where myself and Dave did a charity walk from Stockport County to Chesterfield. And that was based on the fact that Mentell are involved with Chesterfield Football Club as well. So it just seemed ironic end of the season, or towards the end of the season at the time, that we did that, like walk, and I thought it was really well supported of fans and players and Stockport County itself. I could only walk so far because I think I just had the mini operation as well then. So yeah, I could only walk so far. But credit to Dave, Paul Wright, and all the others that are on board, Harry Brookshaw and people like that. So credit to all of them that completed it. It was a funny night. Let's say that. It was a comical night.
Yeah, I bet it was. Well, it was, of course, the lads from the podcast plus. Well, I think the lads from the podcast jumped on it. So Andy Redding, Jamie Redding, Jimmy Harmer, and Ian. They all walked up to Blackpool, didn't they, over 2 days? Well, that just sounds, yeah.
And do you know what, the amount that they raised as well? But it's not about the money. Like as daft as it sounds, it's more about raising awareness and what helps there, because sometimes it can go flat. Like the awareness can go flat sometimes to where, and then you have to promote it again. Does that?
Yeah.
You get the picture on that. It's you've got to keep it in. I disagree with these sort of like world days. Every day should be raise awareness day. Regardless of what health conditions you are, so to speak. So yeah, it's that's how we got involved in county, and it was fantastic to know you got the support of like the fans and external people. It was a good day, and then well done to Jamie and family, for doing that Blackpool walk. It's it was good. It was good that. It's a nice day as well for him as well.
It was a nice day, yeah. Literally following in the footsteps of you lads. My next question was going to be about county, actually, because we seem as a club to be really, really good at this kind of thing. You know, the community engagement. And I know it's easy for us because we're surrounded by it. I don't I mean, for me personally, I don't really see what other clubs do because you're not in that realm kind of thing. But would you say? I mean, would you say we do really well in this sort of thing where we latch onto something and promote it like Mentell and like the other initiatives that the club have got going on?
Do you know what? Stockport County is a fantastic. I mean, this is my big fear. This with the amount of money being pumped into county, that county are going to be distance from the fans. But no, it seems to be the bond seems to have got a bit stronger. You know, like, and it's not just sort of like Mentell the supporting. It's is it the blood donors group they're supporting?
Yeah.
You see him like you see Matt start investing in PE kits for the children
Yeah.
and school uniforms. You know, like the bond seems to be stronger with the club, and that's what we are. We are a community based club. It's always been community based, but to see it now more than ever, I don't know whether it's because we've got older and we're more wiser. It's brilliant what the club are doing. They're not just supporting X, Y, and Z. They're supporting everyone as much as they can, and there's only so much support they can show. But to see it, you know, like in the community and what they do in the community. I mean, I live in Disley, so I generally see more of it, if that makes any sense. You know, like I see the praise that they get, or, you know, like, and the comments that people make, you know, like, oh, Stockport County doing well today. Oh, they're really good in the community. And it's down to clubs like ourselves and maybe like your Chesterfields and your, you know, like your smaller end clubs to concentrate work on in the community, you know, like, and raise them awareness of grassroots charity. You know, like, and just briefly touching on what I said before, it's understanding your origins and where you've been. It's not forgetting your roots of where you was, so to speak. And that's what essentially surprised me with County. I mean, you seen it back end of last season when we won the league. When County got hold of the big flag for George Thompson, you know, like that, and waved it. That proved how much it's affected them and how much they support the work that they're doing, so to speak. So yeah, fair play to everyone behind the scenes and what they're doing.
Yeah, it's a stronger connection, isn't it? I know there was the Danny Bagara flag, you know, the one that had, in the Cheadland had seen better days, and I think it was. I'm not sure if it came down through the weather, but it was ready for coming down, and I think possibly the club took it down, and there was a group. I think it was Gaz Littlewood was doing like a bit of a fundraiser to get it up. And you know, we all, you know, loads of us said, yeah, of course we'll chip in, bloody hell. But the club came along and went, no, we'll sort it out. We'll buy two. It's like one for each end. I mean, that's brilliant, isn't it? It's just little things like that. It's just go so they go a long way, don't they? Building that sort of
do, you know, like, you can't as a club forget your roots or you forget about your fans, you know, because we are the bread and butter of the club. You know, like, owners come and go, fans stay.
Yeah.
You know, like, we go through thick and thin, you know, like, which it hurts me in some respects, you know, like when you see probably other clubs, you know, like that have been through that financial difficulties and they get done for administration, because it's not the owners that are punishing, it's the fans.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's the club's name and it's got to bounce back and they've got to go through that heartache of maybe sort of like your Berries going into liquidation, etc. You know, like, and bouncing back and going through all the divisions. I mean, we were lucky in what happened, and you know, like, and Cream always rises to the top. And yes, we went down to the sixth tier of English football, but we was really fortunate to get a successful chairman, successful backroom staff, and not only that, but the board structure in place as well, so to speak. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm not going to question them, you know, like that. There's a lot of decisions, no, not like a few decisions that were probably unpopular with other people, but again, that's for another day. That, you know, but football and business is a cruel sport. It can be fickle at times as well. But to see us bounce back on the pitch, that's what the main goal is, to bounce back and be a successful football club yet again.
Yeah, and it does help just to bring it all the way back before we move on to current county and have a bit of a chat about that. Sort of swings it all back to your own mental health, doesn't it? I mean, I'm not one of these people that suffers when we lose kind of thing. and I don't get too excited when we win. I mean, you could call me boring, Damon, really, but but there's other. I guess there's other people that maybe do take it a bit more, and it does affect their mental health if the club's not, maybe not if they're winning or losing, but if the club's not performing or not on an even keel and maybe suffering that way. So it's kind of really cyclical in terms of that. On to current county then. I know we spoke about it briefly at the start, but and I know you've sort of alluded to it all the way through this chat, but I mean, how exciting is it at the moment, and what's your expectations for this season? I know you said at the start that you can't see us go, you can't see any reason why we couldn't go up, but what's your realistic expectation? If I was to ask you that,
I don't know. I don't know. Do you know what? Right, we know this from being involved in football. We know there's no reason why we can't get promoted. So, and this is me.
Doubling down on that. Fair enough.
I want promotion. I'm hungry for that success. It really has got my appetite really wet, so to speak. On and like I said, we know the realistic views from being involved in football. Like being involved with county ladies. Like and seeing the management side. I want promotion, and if that feel-good factor goes round the ground, and I know some fans are happy with sort of like consolidation. I want promotion. I want us to go up again. It'd be fantastic if we went up again. Back-to-back promotion. There's no reason why we can't carry on from the previous season's success. Like I know we've got tougher games coming up, but confidence breeds confidence, and with the players we've got, we shouldn't be fearing anyone in that division. Even your Birmingham City that has spent 20 million. Like your Wrexhams, we shouldn't be fearing teams like that. Like, yes, your lesser clubs that may not have spent as much, they might have that resilient field against them, but there's no reason why we can't beat teams, like your Mansfields and, like at home. That's what we should be looking at, making Edgeley Park a fortress again. Like and picking up winnable games against your teams that are struggling at this part of the season. I can see where we are from there. I mean, Danny Bigar always set a milestone, didn't he, of 52 points, and see where you go from there. No reason why we can't get promoted this season. No reason. And that's probably me view, realistic approach to it.
Well, fair enough. Just very briefly then, final sort of thing. Yeah. Touching on Edgeley Park being a fortress. I know you've obviously been I say it again, fan for a long time. So have I. What do you make of the atmosphere at the moment in the stands? Because it does feel like it's been, I don't know, a bit of expectation or maybe a bit flat. Would you go along with that?
Yeah, I agree with you. It can be a hit and miss sometimes. I mean, like, especially when you get the bigger teams come to your ground or the big games that it feels dead nervous on edge. And it shouldn't be like that. The Cheetahland tried to get the old ground going, fair play to them, the guys up in upper tier 3. It can feel edgy at times, and we can get on the players' back pretty easy if things aren't going our way. Like I've noticed that, like say, for example, it was last season, it was Torre where people got on his back, so to speak. And
yeah.
You know what? He was putting in a shift, and you tell me a player doesn't hear that what's going on in the background or read social media. They probably do see it sometimes, and it probably does affect confidence. We should be supporting those 11 players from the very first second that ball kicks off to the last second the referee blows that whistle. And they always put in a shift, County. They love putting in a shift, and you see people put in more than what others do, so to speak. But that's life. That's football. Like. You're going to have your bad days. You're going to have your good days, like as a team. And if like it's down to us fans to lift that team. Like there was one particular moment I remember towards the back end of last season, and it was against Crawley. And previously we weren't picking up as many decent results, were we? If you remember, I think the results weren't going our way, so to speak. But position. So I remember Harry Buckshaw shouting to the players, "Come over," like that. And it was very clever what Dave did here. And we was also like championing the players, so to speak, in words of encouragement. I think mine was Todd. Is it Todd Kane that played for us, that ex-Chelsea lad? And I said to him, I said, listen, experience here
right back.
to get these up and running. I said, even if you don't start, you've got the experience. And from that game onwards, we just seemed to go on that bit of a run to where it got us over the line, so to speak. And I believe that had a significant part in seeing, because I think we had a dodgy result against Gillingham the week before or something like that on a Tuesday night, 0-0, where we was playing well, but just weren't putting the chances away. So stuff like that. He was very clever, Dave, that night. It was good management, that, and I think the players buzzed off it, knowing we're right behind them. And that's what we've got to keep doing at Edgeley Park. We've got to keep showing that positivity. Oh, real fans that have been there and understand football will know that to a degree, but I'll explain that in the private conversation. You get some people that just go along and, you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah.
Edit that one.
But there's a good message there, isn't there? Though I mean, again, coming all the way back to the men's mental health thing, people do have good and bad days. And I know football's pretty fickle, and we all pay our money and are entitled to our opinions. But if you get on a player's back too much, it can only affect them negatively, can't it? It can't by getting on the back, you're not going to get a positive outcome of that, generally speaking.
No, you're not. It is, and it can affect the player's performance, and it could force them into that decision. Do I want to be at this club any longer? Like if people are getting on your back and being really critical, like and seeing your name all over social media, etc. Like they're not real fans. Real fans support you through the good times and the bad times. Like and just as much as we support our own fans up. Like through the good times, we support players through good and bad times. Like we're not critical of anyone, so to speak. It's always got to be some sort of constructive criticism, or it should be. That's in my opinion.
No, that's what we're here for. It's all about opinions, mate. Absolutely is. Good stuff, Damon. Thank you so much for coming on, mate. I really appreciate it. Sorry it took so long to get you on. We will get you on a normal Wednesday pod as well as a live one, and let you loose live to the county nation.
No Mankini, though. No Mankini.
No Mankini, though. No, you sure? You can do if you want. People watch it.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I've got to show the sensible image now.
It's too far gone, mate. I think that ship sailed.
Just a quick one before you go, Russ. Right, we've been having this debate on social media. I'm sure you've seen it. Like between Corey Adams and Ben Hinchcliffe.
Oh yeah. Corey Adai. Yeah.
Now, so you seen that goal that he conceded against Mansfield. Now, I got comparisons last night. The one that Ben conceded against Hartlepool in the playoff final, and that one, like Mansfield the other week. Now, I thought, my opinion. Now, I'm going to agree with you because I love a second opinion. Yeah, you're like a GP, you're a more eye consultant. I thought he should have had that, me personally, Corey. It went under his body. And yes, the defender should have closed him down, or someone should have closed him down on the edge of the area. But he's died the right way. He's coming at him. And I thought his feet positioning was wrong, me. I'm not slating him or anything like that, because he's coming, the young keeper coming in and he's learning his trade, so to speak. Obviously, things like that. What's the reason why you think we're playing him? Is it because, one, we've paid a transfer fee for him, and yes, scouting reports, etc., there's other contributing factors there? Or do you think it's something else, like maybe Ben isn't ready for this standard, so to speak? What's the reason why you think he's starting on, and just compare the goals?
Yeah, well, I saw another goal as well that Ben had conceded. Was it Chesterfield at home? You remember when we drew 2-2, and their second goal was a bit of a mistake by Ben. So, but they've got mistakes in them. Goalkeepers have mistakes in them. You know that because we've been goalkeeping coaches, haven't we? And played in net ourselves. I used to make loads of mistakes. I'll be honest with you. That's why I was no good at it. But what I think Corey Adai edges it with his ability to play with his feet. I think that edges it for me. The goal that he conceded against Mansfield, there was let's get into the goalkeepers union now. There was at least 2 errors before it even got to Corey Adai. So Fevrier lost it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Then the player wasn't closed down quick enough, and I think it swerved left and right and bounced in front of Corey Adai. Yes, he should have saved it, but it's one of those things you're not going to get. It's not going to happen. I don't think he'll make mistakes often. Let's put it like Ben doesn't. You know, I don't think we've had a goalkeeper for ages that's made mistakes often. Yeah, that's my thing. I think Corey Adai just edges.
We have been fortunate in the goalkeeper front. Yeah, I just wanted your opinion on that, and you know what? I totally agree with you. He's the new type of goalkeeper, like your Ederson's, like but lower league level, and he has got potential. Yeah. And yes, the understanding he is going to have with his defence, there is going to be teething problems, but it looks like he's settled in well. You know, things like that. He just that was the first real test and shot that he had on him, in my opinion. The others was just sort of like reflex stuff that you can't coach. And again, that's my opinion, but. Hey.
Yeah, no, you've got a point. You've got a point. Yeah. You mean in the previous matches, don't you, as well? You know.
Yeah. See one against Bristol Rovers where he came out sort of like, and he
instinct.
Flat. He panicked a bit, you know, like on the edge of the area. And luckily, the clearance didn't go well his first time, but he did manage to get the ball away. You know, like that. And it's just having that understanding between his defence and, you know, like that, because he is a new style of goalkeeper, and it's going to take a time to adjust. You know, so yeah. Thank you for that. That's cemented really what I was saying last night on social media. So yeah, thank you for that.
That's all right, mate. All right, good stuff. Okay, right, Damon. Cheers, mate.
Yeah,
gonna let you go.
Are you going Barnsley away?
I am going Barnsley away. Yes, I managed to get a ticket. Yeah,
I shall see you there.
Okay, you shall. See you there.